All right, guys, welcome to our team call, which is Thursday night. So I'm glad it worked out that we could all get together here and hear from the awesome Michele Clark, who I know is super prepared because she's a really good teacher. And I love learning from her, and I'm super excited to learn from her again about our new Awesome Slim. Before we jump into it, I just want to make a few announcements about our team and what we've got going on. We have, if you haven't count on yet, every Wednesday, I just want you guys to get like heads up on this. Every Wednesday, I've invited jewels in our company, any emeralds, sapphires, and diamonds to hop on our team page. And there could be 1 a day, 2 a day, 3 a day. It just kind of depends on how many I get on that day and are going to give jewel tips. So what I'll do is it'll just kind of be a mystery, and that I'll give you heads up on about what time they're going to hop on. And so when you hop on, you can listen and then ask questions and be interactive. And so it's just sort of a fun way to get to hear from some different really successful people. And we had Jen Hawkins on yesterday, which was so freaking cool to have Jen Hawkins share with us. So be looking for that. So we've got a few more Wednesdays left in May. We have the big event of the month, of course, is convention coming up at the end of the month, the very last. So we'll be gone from like Monday to Friday. So that particular week, I'm looking for somebody to do the team call that maybe isn't going to convention. It's an awesome opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and take on a leadership role and to push yourself beyond your limits. So I hope that I do get a volunteer for that. Just message me. If I don't get a volunteer, I'm going to have to go hunt some people down, which I'll do that too. So that's okay. So that is pretty much, we're really focused on, of course, the big reveal, which happened this past Saturday. We had an awesome turnout at Lisa Winecoop's house. Thank you, Lisa, who I don't think is on the call right now, but thank you, Lisa, for hosting an amazing event. As far as I'm concerned, really Plexus, the corporate, and what they've done with the new reveal has been on point from the time that they've launched it to the way that they build up the momentum, they build up the anticipation. The shipping has been awesome. I mean, I know I got mine. I ended up not ordering until Sunday, and mine came yesterday. Then I ordered Robert's on Monday, and that came today. And so I'm just super impressed with all of the shipping. I don't know about you guys, but I think that we really are seeing, in my opinion, what has been in the works for about a year. Well, about a year ago, about this time, is they hired a whole new slew of really professional executive staff. And they put those people in place to kind of take our business to the next level. And I think we're starting to really see the fruit of those people being in their position and really taking our company to a really high level of professionalism. So I don't know, I've just been really impressed. And I just think that I just feel the energy and feel the excitement that's going on within the company outside. I mean, you guys, this is so fun. I don't know about y'all, but my phone is blowing up from people from a year ago that I talked to. I did a Facebook Live today where I did like a taste test with my kids, and a girl that lives down the street that was an old customer that hasn't done Plexus in probably 4 or 5 months came to my doorbell tonight at 7 o'clock and said, I've got to try the new Slim Dawn. Give me the new Slim right now. I'm like, what? I got people coming to my door to try it. Like, that is cray. So anyway, so I don't know about y'all, but I'm super excited, and I think we need to really build on this momentum. And so I'm going to be working to try to help the team figure out how we can kind of wrap our minds around new momentum to really take us into the summer. And, traditionally summer isn't always the easiest season because people start going on vacation and get kind of scattered off schedules. So we're in a position to maybe change that and to really utilize these months to build momentum and to blow our businesses up. So get excited. That's all I wanted to say. I'll go ahead and announce it now. I got 15 people on, so that's cool. I'm going to do a flash contest over the weekend. If you guys saw today, I was at A. Dodson's. I was actually Mother's Day shopping. Ooh, mom's on. Just kind of give her a little hint. But I was like, give me a reason to shop for some cool, stuff for y'all. So anyway, so I did. I picked up some fun things at A. Dodson's today, which is my very favorite store. And I'm not going to announce the contest until tomorrow. But if you're on, so the 50 people that are on, you can get a heads up. And it's not going to be all about adding people, okay? This is all I want from everybody. I want everybody to commit to sending out 75 messages over between Friday and Sunday. And yes, I know that it's Mother's Day, so time budget. And this is going to be reaching out to current customers, old customers, ambassadors, fin sitters, potentials. So get out your list. Send 75 messages. It can be email, it can be text, it can be personal messenger, just really letting them know about the new Slim, and then, you know, getting them excited and start those conversations. So you hit your 75, you let me know. I mean, it's obviously the honor system. I totally trust you guys. Your name's going to go into a drawing, and I have like 5 or 6 different gifts to give away. So I'm just going to pull names, and we're just going to have some fun. Probably do a live drawing, maybe like Sunday night or something. Or maybe it'll be Monday. I think I'll go through Sunday because it'll be Mother's Day, and I probably won't want to do a live on Sunday because we're going to do something. But anyway, so I'll probably do it Monday, like during my work hours. Okay, so that's that. You got heads up. You can start making your plan. You can, honestly, even if you want to, get started tonight, because if you're on the call, then I'm going to give you a little head start. Was there anything else I wanted to tell you guys about? Yes, I want to plan a Slim launch party, probably the first week of June. I was down for local people in Waterside. The new Waterside district just opened today. It's really cool, and there's this awesome place called the Tap House, which sounds like a bar, but it's actually not. It's a really nice restaurant with a beautiful room, and it's closed off. It's a perfect Plexus room. When I saw it, I was like, ding, 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 Plexus. You know, it was just screaming, I need to have a Plexus meeting in this beautiful room. And I talked to the promotional person, and they're not charging for the room. I think they're brand new, and they're just really looking to promote their venue. And so it's just sort of like you can come use the room during the week and buy dinner, which how perfect is that? So I'm looking at probably June the 8th. So I want you to kind of pencil it in. I've got to confirm it with the promotional person. I'll do that tomorrow. All right, so that'll be fun. It'll be for the team. It'll be for prospects. It'll be during the week because that's when we can really use the room. Weekends, you know, a little too busy there. So anyway, so that's all I had for announcements. And then so I'm going to turn it over to Michelle. And if we, depending on how we're doing on time, I'll give some promotional tips at the end. If not, we'll just, you know, I'll put them in writing. All right. So Michelle, I'm going to mute myself and let you take it away, girl.
All right. How are you guys doing? Everybody good today? I will answer whatever questions you have. I'll talk some. And if you have a question or there's something you want to know more about, just let me know. Like, unmute yourself and ask questions. So kind of like if you're sitting in class and you have a question, just open your thing up and ask something. But like, I wanted to start one place because I think that this is something Plexus is the biggest thing here, is that they've just given you one more reason that we became special. So that just like with the probiotics, they added, you know, extra thing. With X Factor, you added aloe. So now we are one of the only products that I can find anywhere that have what we have, plus we added the prebiotic. So again, it's just adding one more thing to make Plexus different and special than anybody else. The other thing is that it's very cutting edge. I have found just by looking that the XOS actually is only 3 years old in terms of being in the United States. It wasn't even allowed in the US until 3 years ago. They keep talking about the UCLA study. The UCLA study that was there was done by a group called AIDP. They actually use XOS. They have it under another branding name. So if you see another, like there's all different kinds of branding names, like where Plexus, the XOS has other names as well. So again, it's all very cutting edge. So you're right in the mix of what's like right in the forefront of science right now, which is pretty cool. I actually taught about it today so I could learn more about it for you guys. But the human biome, which they talked about the other day, I would recommend just looking at that, like in terms of so you get a general idea. It was, again, this is all cutting edge science. Nothing, if you look at any article about any of this, any journal, it's all like 2015, the latest, 2007, everything is really, really, really current. So your microbiome, if you don't know what that means, it's everything on your body. So you are 90% bacteria. When we're born, they say you're 99% human. When you die, you're 90% bacteria. Your human biome is everything and anything on you. So you get a first exposure to your human biome when you're born. That's why C-sections are being talked bad about now and put against now, because without going through the birth canal, you don't pick up the microflora that you need for your biome. So if you are a C-section baby or you have C-section babies, you are already behind the 8 ball, because everything is picked up at that first exposure. your microbiome changes with everything you do. One of the biggest ways you change your microbiome is by kissing other people, because there's an exchange. So every time you wash your hands, every time you pet an animal, eat something, apply lotion, makeup, you've changed your microbiome. When you wash your hands, your microbiome will change, obviously become more sterile, that some bacteria, both good and bad, get killed, but then within a shorter period of time that recovers itself. So everything and anything is part of your microbiome, when you heard the lady talk about that. If you look up the Human Microbiome Project, that's, if you're familiar at all with DNA, the mapping of DNA, the Human Genome Project actually gave rise to all of this science with the microbiome. So they've mapped almost every single microbe that possibly could be in your gut. And I would just suggest, like, go to YouTube and put in Human Microbiome Project if you want to go back to high school or college for a few minutes, and you can watch tons and tons of videos just about to get some quick information. But it's all very, very, very cutting edge. And all the gut flora in your body is kind of in 3 different parts. You have viruses, which live in your gut, which is why people suggest not eating dairy, not eating things that have GMOs, not eating processed foods, because all of those foods are full of viruses. So when you ingest those viruses, they might not be the virus that makes you sick, but they are the virus that affects your human genome and affects your human biome. So it affects your gut flora. So you have a third of you, you have one part of you that's viral in your microbiome. You have another part that's prokaryotic, which, if you think back to high school biology or college biology, that's bacteria. That's just a broad term for bacteria. You have bacteria that use oxygen, bacteria that don't use oxygen. That's another part. And then you have things that we talk about, yeast, that are in there, protozoa, parasitic worms, all of that lives in your gut. All of that is there. So that's why people talk about what you eat. So it is super important. You pick up parasites off of things that are not grass-fed, off of poor quality meats, off of poor quality vegetables, all of that stuff, and that gets into your biome and affects it. So I just wanted to talk about that. I don't know if you guys have any questions, but that was like her general overview. That's your whole world is your microbiome. And again,
what was the second one?
Do what?
What was your second one? It cut out a little bit.
It's just that you have viruses. You have they're called prokaryotes. So if you look up the word prokaryote, a prokaryote is just something that doesn't have a nucleus. So it's a type of bacteria. There's 2 types of bacteria, archaea and eukarya. They're just like the 2 kind of domains of bacteria, and you actually have both of them in you. And then the other one would be things, like I said, which eukaryotes, which have a nucleus. They are worms and yeast, which is why we talk about candida when we go to that part. So you're talking, and that's just kind of the broad spectrum. Candida is a type, and that's kind of where we go because it's a common thing that people know about. But you have all of that inside of your gut. And so again, if you're exposing yourself to poor nutrition or poor quality of things, that's where all of that's coming from. That's why people harp big time on the virus stuff right now. When you hear about there's so many viruses in milk or dairy that you drink, it's because that you ingest it. It might not make you sick, but it's affecting your biome. It's affecting your gut. So you guys good with that? That's just an idea.
So
what's up, Dodie?
This is Dodie. I'm not okay. I mean, I'm not the smartest when it comes to like explaining like scientific that stuff that you just.
Right. That's why I try to keep it simple.
Okay. Great. So here I am. I'm trying to describe to people who've poo-pooed the pink in the past, and I'm like, all right, you didn't quite get it before, but now I'm here to tell you that we are set aside because we have this XOS guide that they've added to this, which is a prebiotic that is feeding the good flora in our gut.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because you take in so much bad that this is the easy way to help you have the good. So it's going to take all of your good and it's going to multiply those things. And I will talk about the environment. So your gut, and I kind of went like, I was going claim by claim, but since you asked this question, let me show you this real quick. So I think I can share a screen. Hold on. So if I can find it. Maybe not. Do you see anything? Can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay, so if you look in your gut has mucus, and that is the part that Akkermansia is really important. So you talked about everyone's throwing out XOS, okay? Well, Akkermansia, which they said it increased with, you guys read that as one of the claims that Akkermansia increased 257 times, okay? Akkermansia's job, the importance of it is that it actually helps with your intestinal mucus. So in this picture, like, I don't know what you can see. I know I can see the thing, but you have your lining of your gut. So this is why it's important, Dodie. You have your lining of your gut. If you don't have the proper bacteria, you lose the mucus lining of your gut. So I don't know if you can see the difference here, but there's like, you have a mucus, you have an inner and outer layer. On every diagram, most diagrams you'll see they use the word Akkermansia. They use this word butyrate, which was another claim of ours. So I think the important thing now is, like, there's so much science out there that you don't really have to wait for Plexus to tell you what you can say. Because I feel like there's so much science behind it. This isn't just like a random Plexus idea. This is actual science. Like, we got studies from UCLA, which is very high profile research. You have research all over the place. Plus, like, again, every textbook, every diagram that talks about the gut talks about butyrate. They talk about Akkermansia. It's not like it's something that we just made up out of the blue. Or something that we are only researching on. It's out there, and it's definite, like, it's pure science. Again, it's still cutting edge, it's still new, but it's out there and it's totally backed up all over the place. I don't feel like, and I don't know what their take is, but I don't feel like you should be afraid to post about some of this stuff. That would be but anyway, the gut has a lining. Akkermansia, which they claimed increased by 257%. And the other thing I know, I think Lisa or Dawn posted that they didn't add Akkermansia. They added XOS, which we'll talk about in a second, which increases Akkermansia. So you got to make sure you have that right. They didn't add this. You have this in you. It's in your intestinal lining. So this is your intestinal lining right here. And actually, there is a huge layer here. When Akkermansia, its job is to degrade this mucus. So, like, the good bacteria is going to degrade your mucus, like just like snot, like you have in your nose, your mucus inside your gut. And that's actually going to stimulate new mucus to grow. So it's kind of like a revolving door. The Akkermansia degrades it or takes it down, and then it makes it better again, like it builds it back up. And so when you keep building it up and building it up, it protects your gut from getting leaky gut. Okay, so it creates what are called metabolites. Well, that's where we can make the claim that it increases our metabolism, because it's creating this product that is helping your metabolism to go. So it helps your metabolic and it helps your immune system. I had another picture that was, I don't know if it will advance. Let's see. Can you see this different picture? Did it change? No, it did that last time. Hold on. All right, let's see if it will do it again. This one's a little bit more like more cartoony, I guess you would say. Hold on. No, can you guys see that one? Is it different? So there's like a picture of a healthy gut and a leaky gut. Like I showed you guys a leaky gut before, but so this mucus layer protects you from having leaky gut. So that's something that correlates back to everything else we've claimed about stuff in Plexus, that you have this mucus layer. Without the mucus layer, things are going to get through. Also, without your mucus layer, you could get, you know, things like, I just lost my train of thought, ulcers. Okay, so the Akkermansia, its importance is that it helps to build that layer. Now, I don't know that you need to tell everybody that and share all that, but at least you understand that that's where that claim is coming from. It helps, it makes all of these things. So the Akkermansia is going to help your mucus. It's going to create propionate, which is what they talked about as a claim. They claimed that the propionate went up by 25%. Well, that's because the Akkermansia helped build up your mucus layer, which then makes these things called metabolites, which then helps your immune system and helps your metabolism. So it's kind of like a cyclic. So the Akkermansia eats it, then by eating it, it makes it better, it builds it back up, and by building it back up, then you get all these good benefits. And it keeps your gut locked together so that you don't have leaky gut and you don't have things entering your bloodstream. You don't have inflammation. So again, there's another claim. Because we have Akkermansia, now basically you're lowering inflammation, which Slim already did, but now we have another kind of justification out there. And again, that's not something that's made up by Plexus, that's pure science. That's what you could find on any kind of research if you look it up. So let's see, let me go back here.
Hey, Michelle.
So anyway, yeah.
So, okay, because I've got a lot of people who are really drilling me on this, and I don't know. So, I get what you're saying, and I just tell people, look, I don't know specifically. I'm like, don't pick on me right now. I just know it tastes good. Let's learn together.
Right.
But I think it would be great. I don't know who on here is really good with graphics. Rachel, Glenn, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. That could make a graphic explaining that cycle, because I think that is right there in a nutshell. It's easy for people to see it, understand it. It's easy for me to explain it. And then from there, I can suggest, hey, I really think you should go and research X, Y, and Z. That's really going to be your best bet, because I'm not a scientist. I'm just not. So that, and then the second thing is, I think I know it for myself, but before Plexus, when somebody mentioned to me inflammation, all I thought was arthritis. Okay. And that is, it's in my family. I got that. I have RA, but when you mention inflammation to people, they don't think they got achy joints, so they don't get it. So if you could fold in a little bit of explanation that we could maybe use in layman's terms too, maybe.
Right, yeah, I think like the inflammation, so like even your RA is really related back to your nutrition and to your gut health when you were born. So like I saw a thing that said, and again, I didn't know a lot of some of this until I started reading it. I can read from the scientific level because that's what I do teach every day. And so can you guys, if you take the time just to look. It's really not that hard. I know like Rachel's probably laughing right now, but she did a lot of research and probably knows as much as I do right now. But the inflammation comes because things enter your bloodstream through your gut. That's one way that it happens. So the junctions in your gut, they are supposed to be tight and sealed together, like that picture that I showed you. So like if you think about it like in Legos or cubes together, so you got hunks together, when your gut leaks or when you don't have the mucus, your gut opens so things can go through your gut into your bloodstream. Okay, so if you have this mucus layer on the top here, you have a mucal layer, it's got different layers. Everything stays to the outside of that mucus layer. The bacteria that they're claiming we're adding, the Akkermansia, eats down that mucus layer, but then it builds it back up. By doing that, it keeps these junctions tight in here so nothing can go through. And like I said before, that gut gets established early on. It comes from you being a dirty person. That's a good thing to be dirty. It's not a bad thing to be dirty. It comes from you coming through vaginally at birth. That's a huge one. Like if you had anything right now, like I think I was going to be on a new trend, like Dawn's healing journey is no cesarean sections, no C-sections. Like I think that like there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have issues later on. Kids, like I polled my class today, and those that knew it, probably more than half were born via C-section, which is like, so you think about all that and that's like and breastfeeding, that's the other huge one that they say establishes your microbiome. That first year almost lays the groundwork for your entire life. So that's pretty amazing. Like and again, that's all new research. So I think that's one thing. I don't know. I think you can talk about with people and kind of see like where they're at. The inflammation though comes from those things going through like the junctions in your gut, like I said, and getting into your bloodstream. And then from there, that's where you get things like RA, and thyroid and autoimmune. All of that stuff comes from that opening. So this Akkermansia is helping to keep that tight and close. Does that help?
That totally helps, because I think people think, well, I'm only going to get inflammation if my mom has arthritis.
No. And my mom had RA, and that's what I always thought too. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get RA. I'm destined to get RA. The more that I've looked into RA, the less genetically linked RA is. And saying a lot of it with MS too. Like a lot of things are not Alzheimer's. Like I said, I read another thing today looking up this, that Alzheimer's is what they're considering type 3 diabetes. They're almost ready to coin that as Alzheimer's name because it is so common now. So like I said before, we had obesity, we had diabetes, now we're at Alzheimer's. And that's all nutritional, and that's all gut biome, that's all your gut. So like, I think like the trend, like we are right on the forefront with this with Plexus. Like, I know like that sounds cheesy maybe, but you are right in the forefront of science right now. Like all of these articles, these studies are 2016, 2015. We're not looking at 1980s. We're looking at like right now, right here, what's going on. And like this wasn't even thought about. Like I said, XOS is a 3-year-old product. It was in Asia, but in the United States, it's only been in products for one product besides Plexus now. Like the early on, it's only 3 years old. That's it. So you're right in the midst of happening. You're right in the midst of like evolution here with science, with huge, huge, huge things of science.
Michelle, can I ask?
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt you, but
yeah, go ahead.
I thought the Akkermansia had everything to do with metabolism and blood sugar metabolism. So now I'm thinking that it has more to do with protecting the lining of the mucosa.
Right. So I think I was looking at that because like I went down the claim. So like I have a whole sheet of the claims. I took it off like Dawn's list and everyone's list. Every time I saw a claim, I wrote it down to try to like combat the claim. So the glucose metabolism is still coming from what we all claimed with the chromium, with the old Slim. The Akkermansia does, like I said, it creates this stuff called metabolites and the short chain fatty acids. So they're claiming like the 58% of butyrate and the 25% propionate. Have you guys read that on all the posts you've made? Those are short chain fatty acids which help your metabolism. That's where that's coming from. So that claim is related to those short chain fatty acids. And Akkermansia has a part in creating those short chain fatty acids. So, but the big thing with them is that gut. So like if that gut is correct, if your lining, if that mucus layer is correct, those bacteria can feed. So that's why we're talking about the miracle grow. Like we can grow a great flora because we have the soil to do it in. We have the stuff to do it in your body. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay. Let me see what else. The Akkermansia, there's a couple of things just in case people ask and go, well, where do you get it from? Where does it come from? Well, it's in you, it's in your intestinal lining, but also nutritionally. And I talked about polyphenols before. Polyphenols are colored food. So berries, the big one that has Akkermansia in it is cranberries and pomegranate. Shocker. We all have been told to eat cranberries our whole life to help your UTIs and all that stuff. That's because it helps all the vaginal bacteria that is important to your microbiome. So polyphenol. So again, it all comes together. Like everything your grandma told you is correct. Everything they told you is correct. The other one, berries, cherries. My mom always told me to eat cherries. And cranberries and pomegranates. And then the other one that's been common recently is grapeseed extract. So that's just another place. So any of those things of color, fish oils, they all have Akkermansia in them. So like, again, we didn't add that to Plexus. We didn't add that. Please make sure we didn't add it. You have that in you. That's naturally occurring in you. Let's see. I think that's all I had on that one. That was one of the claims. So Oh, I know what else I saw, and I don't know how far we can take this, but like there is a direct correlation between akkermansia and diabetes, which I found quite interesting. I'm sure I would think that we probably, again, Slim is already helping diabetes. We don't ever really make that claim, but like they said, they made it for diabetics, and so akkermansia has a direct relationship with diabetes. In terms of, they actually did a study, if you're familiar with metformin, I found this interesting. Metformin is people take that to stabilize blood sugars. That it actually helped metformin to help your body to make good bacteria and to stabilize your gut faster. So like the akkermansia and the metformin worked together in a study. So it's kind of like, again, it just helped to make it more efficient, which means that it's helping you with get your diabetes straight. So I don't know if we should make that claim, but I did find that like kind of interesting that it's kind of, again, it's all hand in hand. Slim was diabetic. We now added something to make it kind of more for diabetics, but will they take it that far? I'm not sure. But again, there's so much out there that's already scientifically proven in journals. It's not like it's on the internet. It's been done. It's done research. Let's see. So the other claim was all of the other bacteria, the lactobacillus and the bifidobacterium, that they said they went up 365 times or 295 times. Well, that makes sense because you're making your gut healthier. So whenever you're making your gut healthier, those bacteria are going to thrive. And those are all ones we have all talked about. You actually have those in your probiotic. So again, not only are you increasing them by creating this introduction of XOS into your body to help your gut, you're not kind of doubling it because it's in the probio. So it's just kind of giving more to your gut. So those are those two claims. And I don't know that people are going to be super excited that we've added our bacteria went up, but all it basically is telling you is that that product has the ability to help you to make it grow nicer. You have good soil, you're putting good soil in there to grow your plants, and so you're growing good bacteria. The good claim with that is, or the good thing with that is once those grow, it's going to smother out the bad ones. So I think that's kind of something you can maybe tell people, like if you got the guys and the bad guys, those are the good guys, and they're going to choke out the bad guys, which is critical to keeping away leaky gut. And I saw a number that almost 80% of Americans probably have some form of stage of leaky gut from our diet. So that's a pretty large number. There's a lot of people that could benefit from this. So, and again, like I've said before, your gut can fix itself very quickly because it's only one cell thick. So there's lots of things to do. But I think those two, the akkermansia, I think is kind of cool. People think it's cool because it's a different crazy word. I found the guy where it came from, and it was only it's only been since 2004 that they've identified that bacteria. So that's pretty new too. In terms of science. So it was a Dutchman that found it. So, and it's named for him like every good scientist does. So he named stuff for himself. And then the other claim that was on here was, let's talk about XOS, because I know everybody wants to know what the hell that is. So the important thing is I heard it pronounced 12 different ways. But if you break it down into its root, xylo is the first part of it. So you have xylo, which actually means plant. So if you remember xylem from plant biology at all, there's xylo, or like xylophone, same root. Xylo means it's some sort of plant. The next chunk of it is oligo, is the kind of the place, and you can write it out. I wrote down ZY, xylo, LOW, if you want to write it phonetically. And then Ollie, OLLEY, like a kid's name, Ollie, Oligo. People, you're going to hear people say Oligo. That's probably close, but the real way is I listened to it 3 times and tried. I even asked my Latin teacher today. Oligo. So xylo, oligo. Okay, and you might hear xylo, oligo, which is okay, but and all that means, if you break it down into its chunks, so xylo is plant. The oligo means few. It's kind of the opposite of the root poly. Poly means many, so it's few, which means it's short, which is important because then it breaks apart quickly. So it's got a short chain. And then saccharide, the word saccharide means sugar. But in this case, it's a carbohydrate. It's because, again, it's a prebiotic. Okay, so you got xylo-oligosaccharide. Got that one? Now you can say it and you can be cool. So xylo-oligosaccharide, write it phonetically. And again, it's only 3 years old. It causes, it is a prebiotic. So, and you're gonna need to get familiar with what it is that versus a probiotic. So prebiotics are non-digestible food that's gonna feed the bacteria. So there's your Miracle Grow. This is your potting soil. Okay. And this is going to improve your health. The study that they keep talking about, the UCLA study, the importance of the UCLA study, why they keep telling you that is because that study showed that 1 gram, which is what we have in Slim, the 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. That amount can significantly, they showed scientifically, it can significantly modify your gut microbiome. So that is a standard amount. So 1 gram can significantly modify. So that's why they keep showing you that study. That's why it's been on. That's why they talked about it at the big reveal. I've seen it on some of their posts and stuff. The UCLA study. It's the one that everyone uses. It was actually done on Pre-Tick, which is their brand name for XOS. I was kind of curious as to which XOS we're using. I haven't seen that anywhere. XOS is actually made up of corn cob. So that was kind of, and I was trying to see I looked on Plexus's stuff. I couldn't find anywhere what brand, if we're using someone else's XOS or where it's coming from. But XOS actually comes from corn cob, organic or inorganic or not organic. But I'm hoping ours is organic, which I would have to assume it is. So the point of it, again, is just to feed it. It is safe for pregnant women. XOS is safe for pregnant women. There's lots of studies about that. It's actually safe up to, they did a study with 4,000 milligrams. See, we only have 1,000. They did a study up to 4,000. So they did like 4.2 grams a day with pregnant women. That's 4,000 milligrams. So that would be like 4 Slims. So again, if the 2 is plenty safe, if anybody asked you that, I did try to look that up because I knew people might want to know if that's too much or not enough. So 2 is plenty. That's a adequate dose. But the big claim why they use that study, like I said, is that the 1,000 showed significant, and they use the word significant in several studies, ability to help you grow a good gut microbiome. Right?
Is it safe for breastfeeding? Somebody asked me that today.
Yeah, it said, I couldn't find the thing, but I went back to try to find the actual thing, but the actual study, but it said that they did 4.2 grams of XOS a day for pregnant women. They did it to help with constipation. And I would have to assume, I won't say it is safe for breastfeeding, but from reading all the other stuff, it's just a prebiotic, which just is something that's helping your gut. It's a carb. So I would think, I mean, they can check, and they're not going to have any clue what XOS is. So they're going to say, no, probably not, because they don't really know what it is at this point. But I would say, based on what I was reading, it seems safe for all of that stuff. Like even for your children, because like I know my son takes Slim, and I have not. I got it today, and actually I haven't got a chance to even try it yet. But I am not going to hesitate to give it to him based on what I've read, because prebiotics are not anything. Again, it's not chemical. It's nothing that's going to hurt anybody. And it passing to the baby, I would think would be a benefit because it's only helping the biome.
Can we ask one more question?
Yeah, ask whatever you want.
Okay. In relation to it for kids and the claim of the weight loss. So I have Denise here on my team, and she's got one that, what do they call that? Like just not gaining weight.
Yeah, he's not
gaining weight, not growing at a good rate. And so they've got them on eating certain things, all of that stuff, trying not to go on the growth hormones and things.
Right.
So with the claims of it, and he's been taking the Slim and all kinds of other stuff before. So do you think is okay for him with the weight loss claims?
Yeah, but it's like, I think, I don't remember who said it best, but it's really not all about just weight loss. So if you are where you need to be with Slim, like if your body is healthy, it's going to help you get more healthy. It's not going to.
Right. I was just making sure, like for the kid, like, I don't know, just because he's so sensitive to losing weight.
It's really not the XOS that's doing it. Like, we haven't changed anything really for weight loss. The only thing we've done a little bit is added some metabolism, like because you're creating the metabolites in your biome and your gut, but that's not significant. The chromium and the green tea are the factors that are helping with weight loss still. So you can't forget that you're not changing every claim about Slim. A lot of those claims came still. Those are old claims. They're nothing new. You know, like metabolism and blood sugar leveling and triglycerides going down, cholesterol going down. That's all old claims. The only thing we've changed is that we now are adding a component to grow your gut, to help your gut flora grow. So I don't think so. Like his issue would be more nutritionally, and that's going to help him nutritionally.
Okay.
So
that's good. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. All right. What other questions you got? Shoot about XOS. So
I felt like they were talking about they had a I know they said something about there was a patent pending, but was it on just the Slim because it's called Slim and now other companies are starting to have their own Slim product?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I was trying to figure out too, because and I tried to look. I looked everywhere on Plexus. I looked on people's sites just to see, because like there is a patent on XOS, but like so the one company AIDP, that's like a pharmaceutical company. They actually own a patent on it. It's called then it's the one that they did the UCLA study on. So that's why I was kind of wondering if we have hijacked a brand of XOX and we're using it and they're patenting just our drink because we have it in there. But it was called Pretic X. So it's just like a brand of XOS. So that's what I was trying to figure out too. Because I don't know, like I don't think we made our own. I think we just are including that into Slim and patenting the drink with it. Because really, if you search XOX, you're only going to find it in like pill form. There's a lot of pill form like on Amazon or the health food stores. If you search it, all these bottles show up that you can take.
I see.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't really know. I don't know that they've released that information yet.
Michelle, proof that it was on its way.
Whatever.
Room 104.
I know. Thanks, Mama. I didn't get my Slim today. I was trying to see what else. The XOS, it is a carb because a prebiotic, any kind of prebiotic is a carb. Like if any of you ever taken a prebiotic, you're really taking a carb. It's just not a digestible thing. It's not digestible. It's there just to feed your gut. So prebiotics are almost just as important as probiotics, but no one really pushes the prebiotics. So that's again where you're on cutting edge. This is new. It's like you're on the forefront of it all.
Michelle, can I ask you a question? Yeah. So is it kind of similar to taking enzymes, like with your meals?
Yes. Yeah, because your enzymes are helping you break the food down. That's what the one you showed me, that bottle you showed me, because I take them too. I take digestive enzymes all the time just to help. And again, it's just amplifying it, just like this XOS is amplifying your gut growth.
Well, and so for everybody in the call that's interested, that's a huge part of what my doctor does for me. Like a huge part of my healing is that digestive stuff. So I have a slew of that enzyme. So I'm just like, I can't wait to get this up in front of him. I'm gonna get this in front of him on Wednesday, maybe do another interview, because I think this is gonna be just totally on point for the stuff that he's got going on. So anyway, just very exciting. Now that I'm understanding it, because I didn't really get it, so I'm connecting the dots. So thank you, Michelle.
It's a big cycle. So like I think like everything that we have in Plexus and the triplex, it's all connected. Even the BioCleanse, like I didn't quite get the time to kind of figure that one out, but like if you think about it, it's cleaning your intestines, it's cleaning out the garbage. Once you get the garbage out and now you've added in this good stuff to help the good stuff grow, it's only going to flourish. So it's like, and like I said, will help with the leaky gut. Leaky gut causes everything. Like, they are on the verge of linking everything to your gut. Everything and anything that we say is chronic or a problem, and the big one is cancer. Like, I think I was reading to say, like, all the stuff they're doing at Duke. I know you've been down to Duke, but there's a lot of stuff going on at Duke with like the curing your gut through nutrition and supplementation, like what you're doing with Dr. McDonald, basically. That he's on the forefront. He is like he is the be all end all for that, kind of, from what I was looking at and stuff. So I think, like, you have something completely different than anybody else, because it can help so much, and it can help to cure. You can't say cure, I know, but it can help to keep you in that right way in your body and put you towards total health, like total body health. But nutrition goes hand in hand. You can't go to Chick-fil-A, like I keep saying, and take this new Slim and think that your gut's going to be fixed. It's not that powerful to do that. So you have to really commit, which is where the sugar detox everybody's doing is super huge, because you're pulling all that out of you. You're taking that out of you. You're getting rid of it. BioCleanse is helping you to clear all that out. You start drinking New Slim. Now you're starting to regrow your gut to where you want it to be. And things like, you'll see, like RA and things like that will start to go away. Like my thyroid and my hormone is all because I was never taking in fats. Like, that whole fat-free generation, I was part of that. We ate non-fat everything. But that hurt along the way. Now that I've introduced good fats, my thyroid is starting to heal itself. So I think, there's always, it doesn't just happen. Like, you don't just have a thyroid that stops. You don't just get RA. You don't just get these things. These things happen. And that was like the whole reason, one, that I started to get interested in like the plexus and then all this nutrition stuff, because I was always searching for the answer about my thyroid. I knew it didn't just stop and quit on me. There was something that caused it. I didn't just have fertility issues and have a tubal pregnancy just because. I didn't just have my appendix out. I mean, I am like the queen of the gut issues right here early on. And like, now that you look back at it, all of it was because my gut was bad, and maybe it's because my mom didn't breastfeed me. I don't know, but something, but there's something. Maybe I was too clean growing up. Maybe but if you think about it, we are the generation of the antibiotics too. We got fed antibiotics like crazy. Everything and anything was an antibiotic. It wasn't until like high school I remember that they wouldn't give you antibiotics. So, and that's really, that all contributes to this. So I think, like, for us, for Plexus, like, we are offering something that is, and people are still gonna think it's stupid, and they're still not gonna believe you, because it's still so early. But I think it's just like something that can help everyone with that gut issue. So and the XOS, it is the thing they added, so make sure you know that. And it's 1,000 milligrams, which is 1 gram. That's the same thing. 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So, and that, like I said, that study showed that that is significant to change your gut flora. Now, why the Plexus experiment looked extravagant and grand, it was a very general experiment that's been done hundreds of times, but they just did one independently in Europe to have their own data. But if you look at other studies, our data that they collected in Europe matches everyone else's data. So it's not elevated, it's not crazy, it's not anything, it matches everything. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else. The other claim, oh, the short chain fatty acids. So they talked about butyrate and propionate. That one went up 58% and propionate went up 25%. That's on like that little graphic everybody is posting. Those are called short chain fatty acids. They are made by your good gut, your good bacteria in your gut. So again, the Akkermansia are making those things. By eating the mucus and building it back up, they are releasing these short chain fatty acids. And they are the main source of nutrition in your body. They help. And the reason they're good, that they're short chains, and she actually said this a couple times on the big reveal, is that if they're short chain, they break apart faster, so they get used faster. The other thing Michelle asked about, like metabolism and stuff, I found that if you have extra ones of these short chains, they actually feed your body and replace calorie intake you need, which is probably why Dawn, like your guy, promotes this stuff, because it replaces your need to bring in calories. So it can provide almost 10% of your daily calories just by your body functioning properly. So then obviously if you're not hungry and your body is using itself to feed itself, which is what God intended it to do, then you don't have to take in all of this food all the time. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Can you repeat that, Michelle? Because that was really good, and I just want to write it down, and I missed the first part.
It just said that all the excess short chain fatty acids, so all of these excess propionates, butyrates, and there's other short chain fatty acids out there, but these are just the two that we talked about in Plexus. They actually are used in other functions in the body. So if there's an abundant amount of them, they can provide up to 10% of your daily calorie needs. So instead of you taking in your calories like we all do and we don't really need to be, your body can create its own food. So you decrease your appetite, which again will help increase your metabolism if your body is doing its work. And 95% of your short chain fatty acids in your body come from those two and another one. So those are the dominant short chain fatty acids. There's 3 of them that produce the majority. And this is you've seen people claim this. I saw it actually on a post that said the short chain fatty acids, so the butyrate and the propionate, they can reduce the risk of inflammation. So there's inflammation again. They can reduce type 2 diabetes. They can reduce obesity, and they can reduce heart disease. So it's kind of, we're just adding one more thing to all the, like, another backup to all the claims we are already making about Slim. Now we have the production of these short chain fatty acids from the XOS, and that's creating the Akkermansia, that's creating all this other stuff. So it's the XOS is the start. That makes Akkermansia. Akkermansia helps to make these short chain fatty acids. And so then the short chain fatty acids do all the other good work. So it's just a cycle, you know, like anything in the earth is a cycle. You're feeding yourself, your body's feeding itself.
Okay, I have some.
No, it's funny that you say, oh, I'm sorry, Dodie, go ahead.
Well, only because I'm older than you and I'm going to lose my train of thought because, you know, that's what happens with us old people.
Mine's not important.
So it is important. I'm sure it is. But it's maybe what I'm about to say. So when we're promoting this, okay, in your professional opinion, because we always promote the triplex, can you please tell me how to fold this into, like, when I say to somebody, okay, you know, well, whatever, just can you tell me how you are going to go about promoting this in addition to the BioCleanse and the probiotic, please?
I think that it amplifies its effects. Because if you are talking about, like, I think the analogy of Miracle-Gro is pretty good analogy. I think that's a good one to use because people can relate to that. Like, you know, if you start talking about microbiomes and all kinds of stuff. Now, why some people that are kind of interested will kind of get into it. Like, I had a lady at school was like, oh my gosh, tell me about this. Like, she wants to know more because it's like, it's really nothing that any of us would have learned about in school. This is like true right here, right now going on. Like, I just think it amplifies it because when you're building so the probiotics are putting those bacteria into you, the lactobacillus and the Phydium planaris or whatever the 5 are. We're already putting extra in. So now that extra, if we're putting that extra into a good environment, which the XOS is trying to build, then you're amplifying its effects. Like, you're amplifying the growth of it. And yeah.
Do you think that it would be best for us to recommend people take the Slim before they eat? I mean, we usually say it doesn't matter on the timing, but based on this new kind of prebiotic enzyme stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering that myself. Like, when you take your prebiotics, does he tell you to take it pre-meal on an empty stomach?
Yeah, a lot of them are on an empty stomach.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I actually hadn't gotten that far, but I'm thinking that might become important. Yes, I think And I can try to look that up, like the timing of it, because they didn't really touch on that at all. Like they didn't really say, but most of those things, like even the digestive enzymes, like you're supposed to take those before you're eating, obviously on an empty stomach, so that they're there to help once the food arrives. And so I'm thinking that like it might be the same kind of relationship with the like even the probiotic. I'm sticking to the probiotic at night. Like I think you got to do that sucker at night, because then your body is resting and it can get where it needs to get, and there's no interference with anything like acidity from food or heat from other things. So yeah, I don't know. That's probably a good question.
Yeah, actually, they just said, it says directions for optimal results: use twice a day, 30 minutes before a meal, up to twice a day, 30 simply anyway. So maybe, you know, in the past, we've always just kind of been like, it doesn't matter, drink it whenever you feel like it. So I'm just thinking maybe to really help our customers and help everybody, you know, really utilize it in the best way, is we need to really, you know, push that.
Yeah, because I think if you were taking just prebiotics, you would take it prior to eating. Like you would not eat. So
maybe
like
that's just more, and maybe that'll come out that that's more important than maybe it ever has been before.
Right. Yeah. Amy, what do you have?
Sorry.
Mine wasn't a question. No, you're fine. Mine was just a comment in regards to when Michelle said that it kind of 10% of it kind of actually will feed ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Plexus friend who is local, who has been on it, the new Slim, for 4 days. Well, 2 days ago, she made a post saying, "Oh my God, I don't know if it's the new Slim, but I've just forgot to make dinner for my family because I wasn't hungry." Well, just today she had made the post saying, "This is my day 4. I again forgot to fix lunch for my children because I am not hungry. This new Slim is no joke. You need to remember to eat." So that's got to be pretty huge if it's 4 days. She's 4 days in and she's already like not eating like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think like, yeah, and again, remember the old Slim, same thing, like it curbs your appetite, like, but you know, if your body's feeding itself and you're getting on the healthy, then like you intake less. Like what we eat as Americans is way too much food, like way too much food. You know, you just don't need it, and it just becomes, it's just habit. It's a habit, like it's a habit to eat breakfast. Like I said, like intermittent fasting, I will tell you, I mean, I know that your doctor talked about that, but like that, for me personally, that's humongous. And and Slim is doing that for people. Like that just it's part of Slim is to create kind of a fasting, because you're not craving, you're not curbing, you're balancing blood sugar. So like, I think another important thing is don't forget all the old stuff that we were always talked about with Slim. Just because we're adding XOS doesn't change anything about all the other stuff that was always the real deal behind Slim. So, but I think that because like they claim the glucose metabolism, well, that's the old Slim. It's regulating your blood sugar. So it's kind of why there's some components of your gut's healthy that will help, you know, but it's the same claim that your insulin's going to get regulated because of the chromium. And so, you know, nothing with that changed. So, I mean, you still got to focus on some of that stuff. And I think the coolest part now is that you just have everything in one place. Like you don't have to, and that's what I said at the beginning. And I heard, like, I think it was, I don't know if any of you really listened to Kim Pollack, but because she goes science nerdy, so I appreciate her stuff. You know, it's just that we, again, have now separated ourself as a business structure, because we have made it special. Like we've added one more thing that takes it completely different than any other people out there. So you're not having to take, you know, like I'm not too much on Advocare. I don't know much about any of those things, but like you're not having bottles lined up across your counter where you have now a prebiotic and a drink and a this and a that. It's in a drink together. And I think that's why they want the patent. From what I could see, that there was really nothing else that was like what they've created. So, but again, it's not like we're not the only one out there with XOS. Like by far, there's tons of. If you just put in Amazon XOS, like all kinds of bottles pop up. So we're not alone in that, and it's not brand new. Again, it's only 3 years old, and there's only a couple companies that are really into it. But I think again, it just separates you. Like X Factor has aloe, that separates us from other people. You know,
So that's the other thing I was going to say, and then I promise I'll be quiet. Wait, I have frequently people saying to me, you know, well, what makes it so special? Okay, and I don't even really go there, to be honest with you. But in this regard, do you think that the combination that the Slim has, do you think that that stands alone, kind of that different by itself than other things that you've seen? Because I mean, that might be something that we could lead with. While you will find a lot of research where, you know, you have this XOS is available in these different products, but the combination that we have in the Plexus Slim really does. So what would you say to that effect?
Right. I mean, you for sure, because like you have, like I said, you have chromium there, you have green coffee there, you have, now you have XOS in it. You don't have to take 3 different things. You know, like you remember the big movement with green coffee? Like everyone and their mother wanted you to take green coffee, the chlorogenic acid. You guys remember that whole thing? Okay. I mean, I tried it. It didn't do anything for me because I was still eating crappy food. But like, I think that's again, it's just all packaged together in one place. So I think that's legit. And I think now like this XOS just kind of amplifies it and makes it like, again, one step up, and it helps with everything else, like helps. And again, if you're helping your gut at all, you are helping your life. Like you're totally helping. You know, like it's silly for people like, and I still am struggling. Like I still want to go eat something that's crappy for me. Like I still, you know, people are not going to get away from going and doing that stuff. Not unless you have a purist or you have someone that gets in a situation where they have to, they don't have a choice. But I think anything that you can convince people to do for their gut is going to save their life at some point. It's going to make a huge difference in them for personal health. And then again, if you're feeding it to anyone else or you change any bit of your nutrition, you're helping everybody. So I think, I mean, again, the gut, like if you look at it like on a daily basis, they're finding more and more and more and more what's going on. And I really think like the cure to cancer is going to come through all this gut research, like if that will be allowed to come out based on pharmaceutical companies and all that kind of stuff, you know, like, and the cure to Alzheimer's, the cure to all that, like, you know, there's a couple studies where they did with Alzheimer's with nutrition and supplementing for gut health, and it reduced the amplification of the Alzheimer's. Like even in a person that has it, it brought down the effects of it. So I think, I mean, everything and anything is the gut. I mean, like before my mom passed away, she had all those UTIs. Like all of the UTIs, if you had a UTI, you have a gut issue. That's what you have. That's your issue. When I was little, I always had UTIs as a baby, but they kept giving me antibiotics. They didn't ever deal with, because nobody knew, you know, so I was pure of antibiotics all the time. So anytime you have that, it's really because your gut flora is out of balance, nothing else. You know, so everything and anything, you can look at lists and lists and lists of stuff. Your RA, that's a big one for all of us. Why do we all have RA? It wasn't like, you know, that generation before us, there was some RA. Now there's lots of RA. You know, there was some people had MS. Now there's lots of MS. Fibromyalgia, same thing.
ADD, you know, and autism. Yeah. I mean, all of it.
Right, autism, all of it. Like, and I think the coolest study, like one of my kids found this at school, is like if it's common is the Amish society versus our society. If you look at the results, like in the Amish society, because of how they eat and what they eat and how they live, the incidence of cancer and autism and any of these other autoimmune disease is very, very, very low.
Well, if anybody's check out, have you seen the book, The Blue Zones? Have you heard of that? There's a documentary and a book, but they actually went across the whole world and studied the healthiest people of the world, and they identified them as blue zones. And so you can see that it's all about the way that they live and what they eat, and they don't have disease. Right. I mean, it's like, hello.
Yeah, and I think like that's a big one. Like even with this study, like I think that like anything that you can do for your gut is crucial. It's critical. Yeah. And people again, but like and this IA and stuff, they call it fitting out. We are all fitting out right now. We are not fitting in. By doing all this, we are fitting out, meaning that you are talking about stuff that no one gives a crap about yet. Well, guess what? And pretty soon, once people get sick, they're gonna give a crap about it. And so it's like, it's preventative medicine. It's the way of the future. Functional preventative medicine is the way of the future. You're not
Patient girl.
You're not going to be able to, you're not medically, I mean, like the other night, I couldn't afford to take my kid to the ER. I had to wait to go to CHKD. Not that if he was dying or something, I wouldn't have taken him, but you can't afford health care. And like the stuff, it's pretty sad, like the stuff that we're all in is not covered by insurance. Because it's preventative medicine. And like, I think you could do that big time with this new slim that we're talking preventative. But people don't want to spend that. They want to spend it on their Lulu. I hope we got no more rowing people on here, but you'd rather buy bigger clothes and cover it than get healthy.
Don't get me started on those groups. Hey, one quick thing. Was it Jerry Isom? Is she on here? I can't see. I swear she had, don't get me started on that. Anyhow, I think Jerry Isom was the one who went to the doctor and got her the doctor to write a prescription.
Yep.
Seriously, how did she do that?
I don't know, but I called our employee, like I do flex benefits to where like you have that health, it's not that the one through the government, I have it through the school system, and they actually said they would cover my Plexus supplements. Like I could use that versus like going and buying over the counter stuff, but that I could use it towards some Plexus stuff and like other supplementation. So I was kind of surprised by that. But again, it's preventative. We are preventing. You are fitting out. People are not going to believe you. And just like Jen Hawkins said last night, they're either, whatever so what? She said, some will, some won't, so what? And you got to preach to the people that want it. And people are not going to believe you. They're not. I mean, people think I'm crazy right now for what I'm talking about. I've become
I love it. Michele, this has been I feel just, I'm not a green, but I'm feeling my green right now, and it's awesome. It's such good information. So thank you for spending so much time and looking into this. And I mean, I've read all the emails and watched some videos, but I'm finally starting to put the pieces together. So thank you. I can't even articulate how awesome this is. Thank you, Michele.
And if y'all have questions, just let me know. I don't know, it's a lot of science, but like the science is not hard. Like I tell my kids at school, it's really not hard. It's all one big cycle. What you're doing is feeding good to make more good. So it's just trying to make you happier and healthier. Plexus.
Good. Awesome. All right. This has been great. The only thing I will add to it, because I like to break things down and keep it simple because I'm not a sciencey person. I know when I'm talking about the triplex, I talk about gut health, inflammation, regulating blood sugar. So what I jotted down was we're just kind of adding to that gut health piece. So it's like gut health that has miracle grow for an extra healthy gut flora that creates a beautiful garden. So I'm just thinking, when I'm talking about slim and trying to break it down into the 3 points, I'm going to put a little more focus on the gut and create this picture of miracle grow and a beautiful garden in your belly. Anyway, I don't know if that's helpful to anybody else, but as we're out there kind of talking, good talking points.
Yeah, it's just a good analogy. It makes it simple.
Yep. So kind of just add that to your speech, to your 30-second. Okay, cool. Anybody else have anything? You guys ready to say goodnight? It's 10:10. We good? All right, I'll stop recording. This was really great. I hope lots of people watch it.